Hey guys, I just got back from seeing Halloween Ends, once again directed by David Gordon Green and starring the same cast as the other two films, with the addition of Rohan Campbell as Corey Cunningham. And this film takes place 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends is the supposed final installment of the Halloween franchise, or at least this trilogy, or at least so we think. I don't know, but let's just say it is. Coming out of this film, I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm trying to put them together, and the one thing that keeps jumping out at me is the fact that this movie had a lot of guts. It made some bold decisions, and it was much different than the other two films, and pretty much any other Halloween movie I think I've ever seen. And it starts with the opening scene, and I actually thought the opening scene was one of the best scenes in the whole film. It made really bold decisions, it had great suspense, and I didn't see anything that happened coming. It was a total surprise to me, and I couldn't believe that the movie started out that way, and it was a fantastic way to introduce a new character. It honestly might be one of my favorite scenes from this entire new trilogy, and it kind of sets the movie off in a really good direction, and it gives this sense of incredible pace and a willingness to make very bold decisions. The only issue is, I think after that point, there's a big slowdown that happens. And it's not a bad thing, and I can understand why it needed to happen to kind of establish a few things. But when you start with a bang, everything after that kind of has to follow, and instead it sort of slowed things down. And part of that slowdown, I think, is the fact that this film changed perspectives on us. It kind of took a different position than any other Halloween film ever has before. Part of that sort of initial shock, like, okay, we're in for something here. This is something totally different. And part of that was the fact that this film changed perspectives on us. It sort of took a different position and looked at human nature almost in a philosophical way, looking at our ability for evil, our capacity for evil in both an internal and external way. That's a huge part of this movie, and I appreciated it, but I can see a lot of fans getting tired of that and not going to Halloween necessarily for some message like that or for such a deep look into the nature of evil. I can see that being kind of a turnoff and almost feeling like it's just slow pacing and it's not giving them what they want, which is the classic stuff you typically get from a Halloween movie. Again, I have to mention that Jamie Lee Curtis does such a fantastic job in this film, just as she has with all the other films. You can tell she really enjoys playing Laurie Strode. You can feel that she likes coming back and playing this part. You can just tell. She is this movie's heart and soul, and I wanted more of that, but I'll get to that later. But for almost the entire first two acts of the film, it spends almost the entire time fleshing out this new character, Corey Cunningham, and it goes in a really interesting direction. I was genuinely intrigued through most of it. I thought it was a gutsy decision to have a new character and spend that much time on them. I thought it worked for a good portion of the film. I was really intrigued, and I can't say specifically, but they started going in a specific direction with this character that really did intrigue me, like I said, and then they kind of start giving up on that. I was really surprised that they ended up doing that because the direction they were heading with him was something that could have been really, really cool. And it almost made the first two acts and all this time spent with this character feel like it was for nothing. I don't really see what the point of all of that was if this is what they're gonna do with it. I know I'm being very vague, but again, to keep it spoiler free since it just came out, I don't want to say specifically, but it's one of those things where it feels like time was wasted on development at a certain point. I'm just really disappointed with that. It's a totally missed opportunity that could have made this a really, really good Halloween movie. There were glimpses at a level of depth in this film that could have been really great. It was really surprising to me that they were even inching that way, and when it doesn't commit to that, it falls flat. Since I'm delving into negatives, I have to talk about the fact that this movie has so many false jump scares with the most annoying sound effect every time it happens. I haven't seen a movie with this many false jump scares in a while. I don't know if it's just my perception of it because they were so obnoxious and there weren't actually that many. I'm not sure, but it was noticeable. It was annoying, and the jump scares, it wasn't like an animal jumping out like the classic one. It actually did involve people or characters that were involved in scenes, but it was random. It was kind of dumb. And there was one jump scare in particular that stands out to me that was just so ridiculous. It was like there was no reason for that to happen. And the sound effect that they use is almost like someone whacking a piece of sheet metal or something, or this big bang. And it just sounds so out of nowhere. At least the typical horror movie sound for a jump scare kind of almost sounds like a quick intake of breath, or I don't know, just a loud noise. But because this sound was so obnoxious, it just stood out to me for some reason. Like, who's whacking a piece of metal in the background somewhere every time something happens? And it kept happening. It was just annoying. It doesn't do anything for me personally. Jump scares like that just startle me, and then I get annoyed. It's like, why'd you have to do that? I'd rather be in suspense for something real happening in the movie, or be actually scared about something happening. As I alluded to earlier as well, Jamie Lee Curtis needed more screen time. And I know I sound like a broken record between these past couple reviews. I know I've said the exact same thing in those as well, but it couldn't be more true with this movie. We needed more of her. And every time she's on screen, I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, this is why I love Halloween movies. This is awesome. And then after another 40 minutes without her, it's like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of fatigue here, get her back on screen again. And it's almost like they know that. It's like they know they have this golden nugget here that they keep kind of teasing you with, just enough to keep you engaged. And it's like, come on. I mean, this is what I love about the film. This is the soul of the movie, is Jamie Lee Curtis. She's so good as Laurie. And part of that fatigue I felt when she would come off screen was because the interactions between characters were very dramatic. It was super contrived, super forced drama. There's this group of teenagers where their entire life's existence and the entire point of existing in this movie is just to bully a certain character. And it's like they exist on every street of this town. Like, no matter where you go, they're just driving around. Same group of kids, same car, same clothes on. It's so weird. It's like, am I supposed to not notice that? I don't even think I'm overthinking at that point. I think it's just annoying. And I hate when movies do that. Nothing feels more contrived to me than that. I recently watched Cobra Kai, and I felt the exact same thing about this last season. I love Cobra Kai, don't get me wrong, but man, the drama just gets too extreme at a certain point. You have to build up to that point. It has to make sense, and then you can buy into it. If it's contrived, if it's forced, if it's kind of just thrown in your face all of a sudden, I don't know. It feels goofy to me. Now, with all that said, as for the ending, it's fine. I can't go into specifics, but I will say it's fine. I don't have an issue with it. I can't say that I came out of the theater after this like I did with No Time to Die, feeling like I couldn't have asked for anything better. It's so satisfying. I didn't feel like that, but I also don't think it's bad or that I'm upset about it in any way. I'm really curious to hear what people think about it. I'm more curious to hear what other people think. I have just more curiosity in my head about what other people think about this ending than I even have to share with you. I really am not sure how I feel yet. I think I need to process it a little bit more, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad ending, but I know how Halloween fans are, and they take it very seriously, so I am really curious to hear what people think and to hear what you think. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This concludes my Halloween reviews, at least for the new trilogy. I really enjoyed being able to do all those reviews, and I appreciate you watching. Look forward to an analysis video coming up soon, and look forward to a live stream on Tuesday. I'll be doing it with Ryan from RWR Movie Reviews. Link in the description. Be sure to sub to him. Check out the live stream. We're just going to talk about movies and hang out. It should be a really good time. Anyway, thanks guys. See ya.